I've been buying a lot of physical cards lately and doing some interesting additions to my collection, including the Atari 50th, which I brought out for a video, which I'll probably link to somewhere around here-ish if I can. Before I put all these cards back in their boxes, I'm going to like kind of wear gloves and do all of that. And then ultimately get this set put somewhere where it won't get dust and sun. So that would be like either a plastic bin, short term, but ideally I want to get it behind like a glass bookcase or something like that. I was looking into like a glass, something that could sit on top of a bookshelf, a big acrylic sort of display case really for it. But when you look at the overall width, height, and depth of this, it's surprisingly a little difficult to find an exact match. And although there were a few solutions out there, none of them really appealed to me. So I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do with the Atari 50th collection here. So it's fine here right now, but eventually I need to get this somewhere. And I'm going to be doing that here in the near future. But I figured as long as I was here, I would play some of these games before I put them back. That's why they've been sitting on my table here for a little bit. First card I'm playing here is River Raid, and this is a recent pickup. I'm just making sure the game card works. Alright, that's a fun game. So the story behind this game is I actually had sold off some duplicates within the last couple of years just because I needed a little cash, and sold my loose copy of River Raid and then wanted to play it. And so I pulled out my box copy from the box and then it got put into my cart collection, and it wasn't until I was redoing my collection documentation for CLZ, the app there that I'm using to catalog my 2600 retro games collection, that I actually realized my mistake, that the loose card I had needed to go back into the box. So, because that one's going back into its original box, I needed to get another loose copy of River Raid just to play it. So this was a Retroworld Expo card I picked up for $8, which kind of felt like a few dollars more than I was used to paying, but I figured 2023 inflation, hey, I want the game. The game's fun, it's worth $8. So I went and picked up this loose copy of it here. Next game I picked up is actually a Sears Telegames box copy of Space Invaders. I don't have the box with me, I'm not going to show it off. It's a little bit beat up, but I got it for $5. And it's nice because I've got the Atari version of Space Invaders, a couple of copies actually, and then I'm going to have a Telegames version as well, which looks really great. So here we are. The game that should be on the Atari 50th collection. It would be lovely. That should be probably right in this top 10. It really should. Hopefully someday. Alright, now I'm going to get to something really special. This card is really, really trashed and really beat up, and I probably overpaid for it, really, when all is said and done. But this is a rare Atari game. This is Space Tunnel by Bitcorp, released by Puzzy here. You can see something happened over the years involving Whiteout, I think. I don't know what the heck happened to this card, but it is exceptionally rare. Atari Age rates it a rarity level 9. So there's a 10, but it's about as tough as it gets. And although this card is trashed, because it's trashed, you can actually play it. I feel okay. Let's check out Space Tunnel by Puzzy. That sound won't drive you nuts, will it? Well, there we go. Holds up the saying that the reason these games are rare is generally not because they're very good. I will say this a little better than some of them I've played in the rarer end of the Atari spectrum. The different shooting directions is a pretty cool idea, and in the tunnel it's really just the sound is among the most obnoxious I can think of. This becomes one of 2 Rarity 9 games that I've now added to my collection from the Retroworld Expo that was in Hartford, Connecticut at the end of August of 2023. So I got Space Tunnel, and this next one I'm not going to be able to play very well either because I have no idea how to play it. There we go, Sword Quest Waterworld. That is another very rare Atari game. It was sold through the Atari Club and limited retail. Didn't sell very much and didn't last very long, really just due to the crash of the Atari video game market. The reason I picked this up is this is a particularly nice looking copy from what I've seen. I mean, there are even boxed versions out there, so let's be real here, but this is a very nice looking Sword Quest. And now it's mine. Hey, alright, that seems good. There we go. There we go. Okay, well, anyway, this is a pretty interesting game. I'll have to check it out more in the future here. This one and that Puzzle are going into some protective cases. But otherwise, I tend to actually play my Atari cards. Not a ton. I'm a collector. I do keep them in good condition, stored safely in plastic bins and things like that, and nicely cataloged. I've had times where I just had them out on shelves and what have you, but I saw what the sunlight did to my DVD collection, which at that time I was younger and I just sort of had them on a shelf and I was watching them. And you go back and look at those cases now, they're all sun faded and the dust and everything has just kind of dirtied them up a little bit. And even though I took generally pretty good care of them, you can just sort of see what happens when you actually leave your old collection of whatever it is out. Same goes with vinyl. But this Atari stuff, a few things like Sword Quest Waterworld and Space Tunnel are going to be treated very carefully. They're going to go next to my Guardian and a few other bits that I've been able to collect over the years that are worth something or other, and make sure that it gets treated exceptionally well. I found a really weird label, Warlords, and I got it for $3. I've got the Atari version of Warlords, but I don't actually have the Telegames version until now, so it was a nice little cheap pickup, but that end label looked really unusual to me, so it just struck my fancy, as it were. I picked up a Box Sorcerer recently from just a cheap eBay find, and that one just got its clean and sort, as I say, and I'm just going to check to make sure that it actually works. There we go. Maybe a bit repetitive, but that music is not bad, huh? For an Atari game, it's pretty fancy. First one, I really do want to just call out just how amazing Centipede is. It's really good. Alright, there we go. What an amazing game. And what an amazing Atari XP card. It really is. I knew that these cards were going to be fun to look at because of the LEDs, but I did not expect just how cool that modern artwork and LED coloration is. I mean, it is a little gimmicky maybe to have them all lit up like that, but honestly, it looks so badass. If these get out into the wild and people actually start looking at them and going like, oh my god, why didn't I buy one of these? Maybe they could do some kind of standard edition for $50 or something like that. If they can make that work money-wise, especially with the new 2600 Plus coming out. Wow. Wow. You know, one of the nice benefits I also have discovered is that since these are newly manufactured carts, they generally look and run really well on my 2600s, which, sure, the old Centipede car works just fine too. But there might be something to be said for carts that are not 40 years old. Sadly, I have to say, of all the XP carts, Asteroids is, one of my favorite Atari games. I have to say, I'm not sure that it's the coolest looking of the XP carts. I think that goes to Centipede. Although there are some really good, strong candidates in Haunted House and Gravatar, Yar's Revenge, Warlords, quite a few that look really great. The Asteroids, maybe it's the white. Maybe it's the fact that because it's a darker purple cart, the light doesn't quite shine through nearly as much, but it's probably maybe one of the weaker of the XP carts. So, I am sad to report I do have one cart that needs to be returned for a replacement. That's the advantage of opening up all these boxes like I did, is that if any of the cards don't actually work, you'll know. Meanwhile, all you folks with them behind plastic, I appreciate why you might do such a thing, but won't it always gnaw at you? Are the carts working? If I ever sell it, are the carts working? They're behind plastic. This one's not working. This one is glitched. It's like a busted PCB, essentially. See what I mean? See, it just glitches out all the time. I am really looking forward to seeing new paddles get released as part of this 2600 project. I hope they're good. Alright, I think that's going to wrap it up then. Thanks for watching this long. And like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing some VCS reviews in the coming weeks. These, going to play with just a little bit more. And then they're going back into the boxes they came in. So, hey, thanks for watching. And hope you're having fun. Talk to you soon.